Greetings, my friends. Welcome to the next episode of the Mint Mob Podcast. Jason here, joined by my buddy Alex. Across the pond in Germany, we're going to jump into the markets as usual and, of course, figure out what's going on with GoodFellas. We've got some interesting moves coming down the line, as well as some new artists to announce and some pretty big announcements. So before we do that, though, let's check in with Alex. How you doing, buddy?
Hey man, I'm doing very good. I almost feel bad, when I complain about the heat, knowing that the temperature in your region is a lot higher. But as I told you many times already, we are unfortunately not used to air conditions not used to having air conditions in our homes. So it's actually pretty bad. Like especially when you're not like in the first floor, but you're living in the second or third. You're pretty close to the sun, so Europe is melting. How is it over in Arizona? I think it's like you're probably around like 115, right?
You just said Europe is melting? Come on, man. Give me a break. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm looking up the weather right now. Let's see.
It's like it gets to around 100, like tomorrow or like on Wednesday.
Does it really?
Yeah.
You said you're in Cologne, right?
Yeah, right.
Or near Cologne, I should say. If I could spell it. Cologne, Germany, temperatures. I'm curious. It says it's 88 Fahrenheit right now.
Right now, but look up tomorrow or Wednesday.
Oh yeah, tomorrow. You'll get a shot. Oh yeah, you are actually getting some real heat for sure. 98 degrees tomorrow, 103. Whoa. And you don't have any air conditioning in the house at all?
No, like I said, in Germany, it's actually not usual to have it in your house. It's actually not even allowed in some places. So we do have it like on public places, like when you go shopping centers or malls or grocery stores. But it's not usual to have it at home.
Oh, okay, I see. I'd definitely go and invest in like a little. What do you call it? Mini split. Those things are great. They're inexpensive and man, they'll cool down, any room. They make bigger ones too that have multiple heads. You can put one head in different rooms and they're great. You can, connect them to your phone. I'd definitely have one of those, man, especially if it gets to be 100 degrees.
How is it called? Mini split? I'll just have
mini split air conditioning.
Might save my life.
Yeah, you can install them at home by yourself. They're pretty cool. There's actually been more and more of them, I think, embraced and used lately. If you've ever seen, I don't know if you ever do this, but like a lot of times when I'm watching Prime or whatever, whatever streaming service, I'll pick up shows from different countries just because I'm curious. And a lot of the shows I get are from, I'll get a lot from the UK. But I'll get a lot from Australia as well for some reason. So I started watching these Australian shows. And in all these shows where they're in the outback and it's 1 billion degrees and everything is scorched earth, there's always this little town that's in the middle of nowhere and all the people in the town have little mini splits. You see these little white boxes on the side of the houses. So, I mean, if they work in an environment where people are, basically subject to 100-degree temperatures 6 months out of the year, I'm sure they would work in Germany, And they're super energy efficient.
Yeah, definitely. Well. Like there's actually a type of air conditioning that we can have, and that's like just like one big machine that is terribly loud actually, and there is like just one tube going out your window, and this sucks because you can it's not efficient, it's terribly loud, you cannot even watch TV when it's turned on. And I got one of those, but that sucks. But when I see the mini splits, they actually look quite cool because it looks like the one unit that is making the noise is outside then, right?
Yeah, it's outside, and it basically operates the same as like a full-size air conditioning system. It's just a smaller version of it, and it's super energy efficient, and they're very quiet. So yeah, you've got the unit that sits outside your house, and then you pipe the cool air into the house. There's a little unit that it connects to, and you can do all this yourself. You don't have to have an air conditioning specialist do it. And especially since you're used to working with your hands, you could set one up pretty easy for sure.
But do you need to like drill your walls?
Yeah, you put a small hole in the wall where the tubings the tube comes through. There's
Mm.
a hot line and a cold line, obviously, and they're very small. I think the hole in the wall is only like an inch and a half, maybe 2 inches, and then you slide your pipes through, and then you seal that. You know, obviously seal that back off, and that's it. That's all there is to it.
Mm. People seem to use those for their vans as well, or campers, or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
RV. I think that's where they got their start in RVs, if I remember correctly.
And they're like good enough to to cool your whole apartment or flat or whatever.
Yeah, they come in different sizes, right? I mean, we're getting onto HVAC, but yeah, like 12,000 BTU. 12,000 BTU is 1 ton. So for every 12,000 BTU, you give that a ton of space. So like in a normal house, in here in the desert, you might have a 3.5 ton air conditioning unit. So that would be, what is that, 36, like 40, I don't know, whatever that is, 44,000 BTU. They make mini splits that are just as powerful, right? And you can, like I said, like you can have the mini split with different head units. So when I was talking about the unit that sits outside your house, and then you pipe in to a unit on the inside of the wall that it connects to, and then blows the cold air, the condenser unit. You can have mini splits that have multiple condenser units on the inside of your house. So you could have one unit that runs like 3 or 4 different condenser units inside your house, and you can turn those on and off independently. So yeah, you can absolutely cool an entire house upstairs and down with 1 or 2 mini splits. So it depends on how, obviously how you want to set it up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they'll definitely look into that. And with the climate change we have, everything gets. Are you one of the guys doubting the climate change? And shall we actually go into that rabbit hole? Some people are like, it's not human made and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the science is pretty sketchy. I mean, not to get into it too deeply. I mean, the climate, when people say climate change, I'm like, yeah, of course, the climate is constantly changing. It's never been static ever. So, if we're talking about global warming, which is what it used to be called, yeah, I mean, look at the science for yourself and make your own decisions. I mean, I'm all for protecting the environment. I have no, I'm not one of these people that wants to pollute the world and, destroy the ozone layer and deforest everything. Quite the opposite. I mean, I grew up in nature and I love it and I want to keep it pristine. But there's reasonable ways to do that. And having an air conditioner in your house is certainly not going to be the end of the world.
No, absolutely not. I mean, Germany is actually pretty strict when it comes to, reducing, your emissions. But it's actually funny because we're actually such a small country, and especially, Eastern Europe gives a fuck about all this. China, of course, you guys. So I feel like, why are we suffering? And when nobody else gives a shit about all that.
Follow the money, man. I mean, that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
But it's so corrupt. I mean, governments the world over are so corrupt. I mean, we've seen that with what's been happening in the U.S. and what's been exposed just in the first 6 months of this presidency. But yeah, I mean, I think if you just follow the money, you can see the incentives behind a lot of these activism, these activist ideals and quote unquote morals, if you will. I mean, there's just a lot of money involved and a lot of money people involved. But of course, the people with the money are not the ones suffering. They definitely have air conditioning in their house. And as they fly around the world in their private jets telling you to drive a smaller car, they're not suffering at all. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, absolutely. And while we talk about suffering, the one thing I was actually a little worried about today was when I checked my portfolio, and I was like, okay, what's it? Well, because like when I track my portfolio, I always track it like in US dollars, obviously. But when I checked it and I wanted to see like the conversion rate to euro, I was like, damn, US dollar is doing pretty bad right now. You only get like 85 euro cents for it. So I'm even losing money on this, besides the markets not really moving right now.
Mm.
It's crazy, man. Is it like still because of the tariffs, or what do you think is the reason why the US dollar is, performing pretty bad?
Performing badly. I mean, I think it's performing. I mean, it's funny when you talk about currencies because like the U.S. dollar is the best of the worst. You know, I mean, I remember when
Mm-hmm.
the euro was like 1.5, almost 2 to the dollar, and what is it now? It's like 85 cents to the dollar. The Canadian dollar is even
Mm-hmm.
worse. When I look at the, let's see what it is. It was really bad last time I looked at it. I'm just curious. I got to pull it up now. It was so bad. Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, like, it's like 74 cents to the dollar. I mean, it's really bad. You know, like at the end of the day,
Oh wow.
when I'm looking at these things and I see what's happening in the world, like you just look at who is crashing the slowest. That's all currencies are. It's like
Mm-hmm.
who is debasing their currency the least because every single country is debasing their currency. So you don't really have many options other than getting out of that and getting into the crypto world and Bitcoin and all the rest of it. You know, unless you're holding, real estate or gold and silver. Obviously real assets are a great thing to hold during inflationary periods. But I mean, there's never been a currency that survived long term and held any form of value. So why should the U.S. dollar be any different? And, the tariff situation has been interesting to say the least. I mean, we've had a lot of announcements of manufacturing coming back to the U.S. Like I think GE, I think, just announced they were going to spend $500 million on a new manufacturing facility here in the U.S. Of course, Tesla and SpaceX are doing a lot of manufacturing here in the U.S., Texas specifically. We've got Taiwan Semiconductor right down the street, which is one of the largest. I mean, this is one of the biggest facilities I've ever seen. It's massive, and it's only half done. And there's entire communities and economies springing up around this thing. That's literally 6 miles down the road from where we are. So, I mean, manufacturing is important, and the tariffs are certainly going to play a part. But I think the biggest thing about tariffs was just getting people to the table to have discussions about how unfair they were in terms of how the U.S. was being treated. That's at least my understanding of how this administration views it. So, how that affects the dollar, I don't really think that the actual inflation of the money supply has to do with tariffs, but the prices of things going up is definitely going to have to do with tariffs, because if it costs more to make things
Mm-hmm.
here, then obviously things are you're going to pay more in the short run while everything gets settled out. So, it depends on what you mean when you say inflation. If you're talking about debasement of the currency, I'm talking about the expansion of the monetary supply. In other words, how much they're printing. But price inflation that we're seeing now is the result of all the printing that happened during COVID. You have to remember that, we basically more than doubled the entire supply of U.S. dollars in existence during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that get the benefit of that, it starts at the top with the banks and it filters down into the economy that way. So what we're seeing now isn't necessarily from tariffs so much as just all of that money printing that's filtered down into the rest of the economy. It takes time for that to happen, and this is why wealthy people and people holding assets love inflation, because they get first use of the money. It's the poor people and the people in the middle class that really get hit hard. So if I'm looking at inflation in terms of price inflation, that's what I'm thinking. Just broadly. I mean, obviously there's other factors, but just broadly, you can't double your money supply and not expect prices to rise. It's not possible.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's interesting you mentioned it, because right now I'm looking at another asset that is actually, not doubling its supply, but it actually hit a new all-time low just today. Just a little over 2 million bitcoins are on exchanges. I think many of us have seen the Bitcoin exchange balance graph that's actually showing that current Bitcoin supply keeps going down on exchanges, and most of the people are getting their Bitcoins off exchanges into their own wallets, hold them in custody, and it's actually like like the good news regarding Bitcoin keep coming. and it's still so calm in the markets. Like it feels like, not much is moving. Do you see like things exploding suddenly, or do you feel like we will see that consistent grow of adoption, from now on, and everything will grow slow and steady?
No, I mean, I think everything is like everything. Ray Dalio
Mm.
has this great, sort of view of the world where he just says everything cycles, right? And he's talking about the big debt cycles that happen like every 75 to 100 years. And in his
Hmm.
viewpoint, we're coming up onto the end of a credit cycle, which we're sort of running out of room. Like there's not a whole lot more money we can print before people are just like, hey, you know, $100 doesn't really fill your gas tank anymore. It's like, okay, when I was a kid, first driving, like I could fill my car on like $12. It's like today,
Mm.
it's 40, $50 for a mid-sized car, and if you have a big car, it's almost $100. It's ridiculous, So like when I look at what's happening in the world, I see that happening, and I just wonder, how far that can go. And I think we're just running out of room. Like, and on some level, people are just going to completely lose faith in the currency because they see that what they work for doesn't maintain its value proposition to them. And with institutions buying things like Bitcoin and people buying things like Bitcoin, it's suddenly, and then all at once. So we have the cycles like what Ray Dalio talks about, but then we have cycles in everything. And every time there's a new asset, it's gradually and then all at once. I think I said suddenly and then all at once. It's gradually and then all at once. Like how many people had an 8-track player in their car in like the 60s? It was gradual and then all at once. And then it was a cassette deck, gradually all at once. CD player, gradually all at once. MP3 player, gradually and then all at once, right? Like, no, you can't buy a car today that won't play MP3s. Like, it's just the way it goes, right? If it's a new car rolling off the line, it has that Bluetooth functionality built in. It connects to your phone, blah, blah, does all the things, right? And it'll be the same thing with Bitcoin and all these other tokens, right? That have a value proposition. Bitcoin right now is in that gradually, and then we're moving into that all-in-once phase, and that's why we're seeing it consolidate above $100,000. Like, I mean, just the last couple of days over the weekend, it was at 108, I think, USD. Overnight, it hit 108 again. I mean, it's been hanging around that 100 to 110,000 spot now for more than a month. It dropped below briefly for like one afternoon to like 99,000. I bought some, at that price point, and I've just been sitting on it, watching it climb back up to 108. And I think that that's just the new norm. And that's the new norm because of what you were saying. Like there's less of it on exchanges. People who understand what it is are not going to want to sell it. And more corporations are acquiring it publicly, making that known, which makes the average person who's paying attention want to acquire it as well. So again, I think we're moving into that, all at once phase. We're starting to climb up the S part of the S curve. So I don't know that we'll have another great buying opportunity. I hope that we do. I hope something crazy happens and it drops to 50,000 for a few hours so I can buy a little bit more, but I think the days of like quote unquote cheap Bitcoin are over.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's funny that I still read, people writing stuff like, "Hey, the bull run is just around the corner. We just need to be patient." Blah blah blah. I mean, we are currently in it, and the only reason why people still, talk about the bull run that is ahead of us is that the majority of crypto degens is like holding altcoins only, and I mean, we talked about that plenty of times already. We are um, pretty sure that coins like ETH and Solana will survive. But you said it. Did you say that on the podcast, or did you say that before? I'm not sure if you said it in our meeting or in the podcast. But we do not need hundreds of duplicates of projects, and this is probably the main reason why altcoins do not move how people want them to move. Obviously, everyone is waiting for ETH to take off. ETH is currently not performing that good. I think it went down with Bitcoin, and the last dump when Bitcoin went down to 99, but it didn't really recover. I think it's trading somewhere around 2400 or 2500, and yeah, ETH is, I don't see too many great ETH news out there. For example, I read that Solana ETF staking could go live this week, which is actually a huge thing. We never had something like that you could stake your ETF, and these are actually so great things happening out there. And I feel like everyone is waiting for the explosion. Everyone is like, okay, once ETH reclaims 3K, everything goes up only. When I hear the terms up only, I want to puke. So because I feel like I keep hearing that for like 2 years already. So I actually I'm happy with whatever my altcoins do. But whenever I look at my Bitcoin bag, I'm a lot happier, obviously. And like I started to to realize and to accept that my altcoins, like the choice of coins I bought, might not have been the best, but I do not expect them to moon or to like what everyone expected for early 25 when Trump got elected and we had the inauguration and everything, and everyone was like, okay, now everything is going to moon and everyone is going to get his 20x and sell. Where are we now? I mean, now we are currently in the middle of the year. It's actually like exactly like the second half begins tomorrow, and now everyone waits for the end of the year. Everyone is like, okay, Q4 is going to be it. And I am curious to see, on the one hand, on the one side, like what's going to happen in Q4, and then I'm curious to see if people are still so positive for 26, or if they will shift their hope to 26 and tell people like, hey, okay, it's going to be Q1 26 or whatever. What do you think?
I don't think anybody knows anything, honestly. I mean, none of us has a crystal ball, but I think that you can look at curves and you can sort of, I guess you can prognosticate all day long, but at the end of the day, none of us knows what's going to happen. So, I mean, in terms of adoption, I think we're getting close. We're approaching that spot where I think Bitcoin, for the most part, will be up only. Altcoins, not so much. I mean, the story is not the same. So I don't think we can equate the two.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, to be completely honest, like I do hold, some altcoins like Algorand, I think some Polkadot, some what else, VeChain, stuff like that. And like I have been like in pretty decent profits with it already back in December, and then I think in March, I think like my Polkadot did like 4x or something, but I never took profits because I was like, okay, now it's just like starting now, and it's going to take off like hell.
Yeah.
And it's actually my fault. Like this is one thing I definitely realized this run. Like whenever an altcoin pumps, it goes all the way down again. You just need to definitely take profits. But obviously from previous cycles, we've seen that at some point they did that insane jump up, but nobody knows if that's going to happen again or not.
Yeah, man. Hey, dude, can you hold on one quick second? I got something going on here at the front door. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, no worries. Go ahead.
Give me 2 seconds. Okay, man. Sorry about that.
It's all good, man.
It's chaos. Chaos in the house today. Anyway, yeah, so you were talking about Polkadot. It's funny because, like you said, Polkadot 4x for you. Isn't that what you said?
Yeah.
And then it like
popped. At some point.
Yeah, but like what did it go to, right? Like look at the chart that it went to. Like if you look at Polkadot, what did it go up to? Like $6 or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's see. Let me just open it up here. I think I bought like somewhere in November 23 or something. Let's see. Polkadot, where is it?
Yeah, like it's not been above. And this is a great example, right? Like it hasn't been above $4 in all that time, right? But if you look back at when we had the original like bull run, The
Yeah.
previous bull run, it went up to like $40, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And when you look at at the maximum graph of, in the maximum time frame, you can see these two spikes that we had like in early December and back in March.
Yep.
So yeah, this is what happened to every altcoin, and this is actually like this was a time when I was like in profits with my altcoins. But as you can see, if you look at the previous cycles, you see the potential it had there, and obviously I felt like, okay, it might go there again, and I don't want to paper hand it now,
Yeah, but here's the thing. So like the difference is the mindset then versus the mindset now, right? So in 2021 or whatever it was, I think I bought Polkadot at like, I don't know, $13 or something like that, and held it all the way up into $40. And, then of course I did the same thing. I'm like, oh, well, there'll definitely be another altcoin run, blah, blah, blah. But the truth is there's not going to be, because a lot of this technology is just duplicative. Like it's redundant. It's unnecessary. Like what the hell do I need Polkadot for? Like what is Polkadot doing that ETH isn't doing or that Solana isn't doing? And why the hell should I care? That's the story with all the alts. Like nobody cares about Polkadot, and nobody's gonna care about Polkadot ever again. It's never coming back, and the same thing with Cardano, and the same thing with like Cosmos and all the rest of them. Like there's really no definitive use case for any of these tokens. But aside from that, there's no use case for the chain, which is what powers the token. So like, today, Solana released another announcement where, they're taking on a platform that's going to tokenize stocks, and it's going to be released on like 8 or 9 different platforms. Okay. Well, that's a use case for the Solana chain as a database. And in order for that database to function, we're going to have to pay for the transactions in the token, which is the Solana token, which creates a need for the token to exist and for people to purchase it if they want to participate in these markets, which of course they're going to want to, right? So when I look at something like, ADA or Cardano and Polkadot and all the rest of them, the same thing is not true. There's no one who's taking these things on and saying, oh man, we need Cardano's database, which is their chain. We need this particular chain to run this particular app. Said nobody ever. Because the truth is, you can run any app on pretty much any chain if you code it that way. And if you've got a core group of developers that are committed to a specific chain and they see growth in that chain, pulling them off of a chain that is growing, that has, good fundamentals, that has solid prospects, that's building in business, doesn't make any sense at all. Why would they leave that to go to some obscure chain to build there in the hopes that something might happen? It's not going to happen. It's just simply, those days are over. They're gone. So I think, if you're smart, what smart people are going to be doing is they're going to look for every single opportunity to dump these, these tertiary third and fourth level alts that just don't really have a place. It's like, give me the best run up you can possibly give me. I'm going to sell all my shit and I'm going to buy Bitcoin or Solana or ETH or something else, and I'm going to call it good, And I think you're going to see more and more and more of that. In fact, I've seen people on X say that, like, as soon as my altcoins run, I'm dumping them, right? Like there's no desire to hold these stupid tokens outside of the people who are just like diehard committed to them.
Yeah, it's actually funny that obviously you are speaking about, top 20, top 50, top 100 coins. And, still there are some degens out there defending their, 5 million market cap coin, trying to tell people what great stuff these guys are building and blah, blah, blah. And, obviously there are thousands of coins out there, and, there are enough degens for some reason to, tell people that these coins are going to go to, I don't know, to the sky. But yeah, as you said, it's obviously going to they're obviously only going to be like 10, maybe 15 coins that are going to survive, if not less. XRP is hopefully not among them, but for some reason it holds pretty good.
XRP is going nowhere, man. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. It really is funny. Like the word coin is the wrong terminology for what this is. You know, it's not a coin. And people hear the word coin and they think money or they think currency. And you have to realize that, you know, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, XRP, you know, pick one, Solana. None of those tokens are actual coins. They're not coins. They're not meant to be coins. They are gas fee payable, you know, entities that basically act as stock. So like you're buying stock in the fact that this particular chain is going to adopt more and more use cases. That's all you're doing, you know. And so you're not actually holding a currency. You're holding something that you can trade for a currency, hopefully at some point in the future. But that's going to be directly dependent on the use cases that you can derive from this particular database or chain. So it's not a coin. It's never going to be a coin. It's a representation of your purchasing power on a particular chain. That's all it is. And if you think of it that way, you know, think of it as a purchased interest in a business entity, it makes more sense to think of it as like a stock, holding a stock or holding equity in a thing, even though it may not be a formalized company or a formalized, you know, publicly traded thing. You're holding an interest. That's really all you're doing. And I don't think that we've done a service to the market by calling these things coins. It's really confusing to people, I think, in most cases.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you compare to like what kind of research people do buying stocks.
Hey man, I can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me, but you broke out and then you just went silent for like the last 30 or 45 seconds.
Did you get my final words or was I gone?
No, you were gone for like a good 30, 45 seconds.
Dude, that was my best speech ever and you missed it.
All right. Well, now you get a chance to do it all over again. This time better.
Nah, man. So where did you like what was my last sentence? Do you remember?
It's hard,
but probably rambling.
Well, you started talking and then you broke out, so I don't really even know what you were starting to say. I heard like one word and then it broke out, and then I heard another word and you broke out and you were gone for like 45 seconds.
Okay, perfect. So let me start over again. Let me just try to remember what I said. Too funny, man. I said it like a minute ago and I forgot already. We were speaking about coins and I think it was about you know, how people treat their stocks compared to how people you know, treat their coins. And I said that you know, for meme coins, for example, it was enough, you know, for the projects to create a funny little meme image, and people would jump onto the meme coin and, you know, invest their money. Sometimes it was just a little tweet that was needed, and people just jumped on it and felt like, okay, this might go to the moon. And you know, if you invest in stocks, you usually do a lot better research compared to you know, coins sometimes. So I feel like I said that, summarized that, you know, we cannot predict anything that's going to happen. I mean, maybe in like 5 or 6 months from now, we will look back onto this particular episode we record today, and you know, we had the biggest altcoin season ever. Everyone is rich, and we'll be like, oh man, were we wrong? But yeah, the truth is nobody knows, and we will see where we go from there, or from here actually. But let's talk a little bit about the GoodFellas as well. And we actually, 1 second, I need to charge my battery. We actually announced on Spaces last week that the GoodFellas art might change a little bit because we have another lead artist. Did we actually disclose who it is on Spaces?
Well, you made that announcement and then you didn't say anything about the artist, so I wasn't sure that you wanted to. So no, it has not been disclosed as of yet.
Yes, so why don't we give some alpha to the podcast listeners? So the leading artist from now on is going to be Daria, also known as Darius, who created the Under the Veil series for our artist incubator. You guys should know her, and yeah, the reason for that is that the previous artist unfortunately had too much stuff to do and wasn't able to deliver what we expected. So you actually came up with the idea. Why did you think about Daria immediately?
Well, Daria has this unique ability in terms of artistic strengths, in that she has the ability to work and create different styles. And she's not married to any particular style like so many artists are. So she's almost like one of the most versatile creators that I've seen, in that she has, like a really critical eye. She'll go look at a piece and she'll look at how it's structured. She'll look at the color. She'll look at the shapes. She'll look at the strokes and the shading, and she'll say, okay, yeah, I can create that style. And because we already have an identity, I don't want to basically create artwork that's not ours, or that doesn't look like ours, or doesn't look like GoodFellas. And, you had asked her to create a piece, and of course she demonstrated this very quickly. She created a piece that, I mean, you wouldn't, at first glance, you'd never be able to tell it's different from any of the other pieces that we've ever created, because
Mhm.
she just has that skill to analyze and create, and she does it from her own perspective. Now, she made some changes, some of which I think were necessary and needed. There's some stuff in the original collections that are, you could call them errors, or you could call them styles, but didn't necessarily, sort of meet with the standards that I would like to see set forth. And she changed those all on her own to fit more along the lines of a higher style of art. And so just knowing that she had the ability to do that, and she took the time to analyze, is a huge thing. So, I thought of her simply for those reasons, that she's demonstrated that on multiple occasions, that she can do multiple styles. She can do, she's done multiple commissions, and she's done all kinds of different creative projects, whether it was a PFP project, or whether it was just something for herself, or something that she sold, or commissionable art. So she's been in the space doing this and demonstrating this ever since I've known her, been aware of her. And so she was the first name that came to mind for those reasons, man.
Yeah, I remember when we spoke about the idea of bringing a new artist in, and when you mentioned her name, I was like, yeah, exactly. Like we actually got the best possible artist right in front of us. So I was very happy when we reached out to her, and she agreed on working with us on that collection. And as you said, the style she created um, was perfect. Like it was very flawless, and I think the reception of the ladies was very good. People loved these sirens, and I feel like it's our duty to deliver the best possible version and the best quality. So we will finally bring the sirens back to Solana. We will reunite them with the fellas. It's actually like, doesn't it necessarily mean or need that the sirens, because reuniting something would mean that they have been united once, doesn't it? Or am I wrong on this one?
No, you're right. Your understanding of
Okay.
English is perfect.
Yeah, but they have never been united. So can we call it reunion day? I'm not sure. We thought about that.
Yeah, we could call it reunion day. I mean, I think basically just,
All right.
you know, the idea has always been there, right? It's just that they've
Yeah.
existed in different places. First ETH, and then then Solana. I'm sorry, then Stargaze. But I mean, the whole idea has always been to bring them back to Solana where they belong. So I think now that we have the opportunity to do that, it's a perfect time to call it a family reunion, like bringing the family together.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I love to have the sirens on Solana. And yeah, this is going to happen very, very soon. I hope that we can get Daria on another space and talk a little bit about the art again, and her ideas she has with the sirens and the Goodfellas. And on top of that, we got another artist incubator drop scheduled. We dropped dropped a little graphic today. July. It's pretty annoying. We should like get to know her real the real pronunciation. But I think like July is not a common name, right? So it's probably Julie.
It's not a common name, but it is obviously the name of a month. So maybe she meant to use that as her acronym. So yeah, we'll definitely have to find out for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, she actually delivered the drop already. Jason and I, we loved it. We're looking forward to drop it. And yeah, she's known for her Henna X Henna project. Many of our holders already hold pieces from her. And we'll obviously try to get her to, speak a little bit about her art as well. We are not sure yet if she is going to, speak personally or if she provides some sort of writing about her art. But yeah, definitely looking forward to that drop. Excited. And yeah, man, this is actually what you guys can expect in the near future from us. We got the boss coins going out. Make sure to open up a ticket, and Jason takes care of you. And man, like I loved actually that the animated stuff worked so good with Metaplex. And I think that is there actually a possibility already to see the coins on Magic Eden?
Yeah, of course. You can pull up any hash you want and just paste it into the search bar, and it'll come up. It'll come up under the collection, or you could actually just paste the collection ID in there. And obviously with Magic Eden, they have a utility and a group of people that you have to go through to like formalize your collection. Usually it's automatic, but because we have an old collection of boss coins that needs to be delisted, I have to contact them and make sure that gets delisted and that only the new coins are listed correctly. So that's one of the reasons that it takes a little time to get these things completely finalized and then get the Trusted Leaks channel update. So I'll probably be able to get through that this week and hopefully get the old ones delisted. The new ones are already listed, but just, as a point of clarification, look at the announcement in Discord. There's a hash for the collection NFT. And then, of course, every NFT you receive will have its own hash. But if you just pull up the hash for the collection NFT that's posted in Discord, the collection will come up on Magic Eden, and you can look at any of the tokens or just look at the one in your wallet and pull it up on Magic Eden. But yeah, the collection will already be there.
Yeah, I think it actually shows the updated collection, even if you like just type in boss coins, you'll get the boss coins by GoodFellas NFT. I think that should be the new one. I'm just trying to see if it shows the animation. I'm currently it's loading. Magic Eden probably using a free RPC node or something because it takes years. But
yeah, it does load.
Sure,
it's a huge file, but yeah, it will load on Magic Eden for sure. It'll load. Actually, you have an option. You can load either the animation or the still image.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I can see below the image, that there is the option to look at the still image. Yeah, and this actually even loads. So it probably just takes some time. They're not used to animated NFTs probably. You said it it's 15 megabytes or something?
I think it's just over 10, but then when you factor in the metadata and the still image, the total size of all of the data uploaded is close to 15 megabytes, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, crazy, man. Yeah, I hope that that Magic Eden is going to improve a little bit, because that would be actually pretty cool. Didn't I see animated? Didn't the Claynosaurs have animated pieces as well? And let's see how that looks. No, it's actually not animated anymore. Yeah, whatever. I hope that they'll improve in the future, because I love these animations, and I feel like there's so much cool stuff that can be done. I'm not sure if the problem is actually on Magic Eden's side, but probably right. It's their servers, obviously.
It's going to be a bandwidth thing. It probably has to do more with your end than their end, to be honest with you.
Dude.
Yeah.
Good old Germany infrastructure. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I've never visited your infrastructure, so you'll have to tell me.
It's actually funny because like in European comparisons, our internet is like one of the worst, even like compared to Eastern countries. What
Is it?
can I do about it?
I thought it was one of the best. Am I wrong
No,
about
it's
that?
not. Like the internet is like the worst, like in Europe.
Really?
But
Come on
yeah,
now. You're Germans, man.
unfortunately,
You're not
actually.
supposed to be dealing with this crap engineering. Aren't you guys supposed to engineer some
What
cool
what
shit?
what happened to good old German brains, right?
Exactly. Yeah. What indeed?
Yeah.
Too funny.
But whatever. I think we covered it all. As I said, Artist Incubator drop coming up on the 21st. We got the Sirens coming back to Solana, and we got spaces coming up on Friday. Make sure to join our spaces as usual. And did I forget anything? Are we good?
I think we're good, man. I think we're good. Time to close out the month and get on with the next thing, man. So, yeah, let's close it out here and wish everybody a fantastic week. Take care, guys.
Bye bye.